Good afternoon to everyone. I was just listening to other speakers speaking about on this point. Bengal is the only state since 2014 who has got a dedicated public prosecutor for cybercrime and electronic evidence cases. I am that person. So every day, whenever I am going through my case diaries, different pages, most of the cybercrime cases are very much voluminous, documented. I can still remember the first call center scams case. I think all you heard about the German call center. And I was the lucky man to represent West Bengal on that case here at West Bengal. And after 2 years, I went to USA. And what a horrific situations or experience I have to bear up. Actually, when I was crossing the Pacific Ocean, it's a 17 hours journey from Hong Kong to Los Angeles. I was very much confident that I will be grilled and questioned by the law enforcement agencies. In the name of call centers, people are working, they're finding their jobs. Political people, policyholders never try to touch them because I have shown you. You have the USC 2701 and we have the IT Act. When our people, our police asking you data, why you are not giving? Is there a differentiation of the values of life between an Indian and US citizen? Coin a term called Western Dadagiri. Wife file against husband because they have now a strange relationship and they are not happy with them, and the husband started using those intimate photographs and other and trying to attacking the wife, and the wife filed a complaint and the commissioner was helpless because the Facebook was not providing the IP address. Simple, they are not going to provide. We are such a guinea pigs. We are standing being the world's second largest internet user, and we are the fourth in terms of number of cyber criminals or crimes in the world. So these are the statistics you have to keep in mind. Why for industry? What the industry is going to learn from this 5 minutes or 10 minutes speech of Mr. Bivas Chatterjee? Simple. You have to take care of data. You have a lobby because industries always have a lobby. In different civilized countries, industry is always lobbying, I know. But these lobbying should be for the betterment, for a law. I was waiting for the cryptocurrency bill to be converted into law in this winter session. But I was very sorry to feel because I am that guy. If you go and search my name in internet, there's a lot of abusive language been thrown to me because I have filed a public interest litigation against the cryptocurrencies, the so-called big things. But that time in here, I can still remember I was in Malda. I was in a crime conference with the SP Malda, and the SP Malda told me that we have to visit a place where there was a ransomware attack and a very crucial government data has been encrypted, and they are now asking 3 bitcoins, and that time value of a 1 bitcoin was 67,000. I know you have seen that it crossing the 45 lakhs and then came down. Now, what the purpose in a country like India, a decentralized currency system? We have to think it out. And I'm telling you, actually, I have given a letter to government of West Bengal. I'm a bank, and they have filed a complaint. Bidit was there when the case was started, and later on the FIR was filed and all. So bank filed a complaint that one of its important customer filed a complaint that from her bank account, 3.21 crores was siphoned off. And she was actually sitting in Chennai. And the entire crime was enrouted through Baguyati. So the case was started, investigation was going on, the registered mobile number was changed, the registered email ID was changed, net banking option was activated, a new fresh debit card was taken, and then money has been siphoned to previously open 8 accounts, and this was the money, the case was started. So it was a custody trial going on. A lot of, I faced a lot of hardship in this pandemic because there are a lot of cases waiting for a trial to be converted because of fear factor, which is Praveen was telling, not only techno thing, it's a techno legal thing. So if we have a 50-50 partnership, then things will ultimately materialize. So in that case, I have tried to show the world, see the beauty of electronic evidence. because my defense brothers, they are trying to project the case to be a scam of 12 crore rupees in before the Honorable High Courts and other forum. And I was confident that it was not a 12 crore, but maybe more than that. And file a prayer before the court to have requested the prayer before the judge to install the Microsoft SQL in judicial computer. And thereafter, I, in the open, created the queries with the help of SQL. And I've shown that the scam was not that of 12 crores the accused person was trying to project on that point of time. It was 894 crores. Every day we are doing experiment in different perspective. Now let's coming to the cybersecurity aspects. I'm just giving you my thing of experience. I asked the bank when I was taking the branch manager to the witness box and asking how this thing happened. See, two of the employees called Checker and Maker, and the foster came to them, being an employee of the bank, and simply given a voucher. And on the strength of the voucher and on a forged document, the registered email, mobile number and the email ID has been changed. He said that we had learned a lesson after this incident. From then only, if anybody wants to change anything on the account, then prior permissions from these super officers, say manager and other officers, their permission is very much required. So they have learned a lesson by way of siphoning of 3.2, because it was a question of goodwill of that bank, this international bank, and they have paid the money, returned back the money to the victim. And in turn, they tried to accumulate those first money by freezing those accounts, but ultimately there was a loss of more than 41 lakh rupees. So in that case, this way we are learning every day. So I was in corporate when I started my career. My first corporate was one of the biggest telecom company in the world. And I learned from them. One of my brother, who is now actually left the job and now joining as in practice, he used to tell, and I quote that, I love that line, that it's nothing but create a problem, find a solution, get a promotion. So I think this is the best thing of today's topics. There are, you see that we should be more careful about data. Why I'm telling is because we are not careful about data. I have seen that I've dealt with the case. I think you all heard about the Baduria riot because of the one Facebook post. Because the prosecutor, an honest prosecutor's job is a tremendous job, because he can recently the Honorable Supreme Court, the old Misters and Agrawal judge has given a fantastic judgment supporting what I am doing, is that the prosecutor can come with any evidence. They are not confined with the case diaries, whatever the police is given. In a lot of my cases, in recent cases which I am conducting, because one of the accused person went to Honorable Supreme Court because they are not getting bail, the custody trial is going on. The Honorable Supreme Court says, no, we're not going to give you the bail, but we are directing the trial court to complete the case within 2 months. And the direction was in between these summer vacations and other, and you hardly have nearly 1 month and 3 days. Evidences like Google Translate, because the one person that even coming from is only knowing our Telugu and Tamil. So that Telugu and Tamil informations, and in Chennai, the Chennai police uploading the latest updates of a cybercrime cases on Telugu, on Tamil. So we need to take help of the Google Translate and a lot of different type of, and then we have a very big problem of technology that's called natting. We keep on telling the internet service provider, for the sake of optimizing your business. So that same problem is coming up. That create a problem, find a solution, get a promotion. So I love that you do it. I have no problem with, but to have a little bit of welfare concept in our mind, because I do believe the industry is there to maximize their profit. But we are on the contrary side. We see the welfare of the country, because I believe being a part of the stakeholder of the judiciary, that fear factor which Praveen was telling, if they are playing with the fear factor, then we can also play with the fear factor. How? The punishment will provide a deterrence. Because our punishment, a proper punishment, I can still remember, if you go in the internet and search the porn revenge, that so-called that Facebook page and other, the people in the good time, they're having some photos and then started blackmailing and all. At the first convictions of CID West Bengal, I was as public prosecutor on that. But from the industry's perspective, that will take 1 minute for you all. I think it is the best time and the last time. I given a straight letter to the government of West Bengal that what will be the fate of the IT industry in the days to come. Why I'm telling so? We have GDPR, the world's biggest law, biggest legislation. The GDPR is telling if the companies are not following the GDPRs, the rules provided there, if they are not cautious about the data they are working there for GDPR, they are handling their European peoples. There are a lot of companies in India, and even in Kolkata in Sector 5, who are working on the GDPR, the data of the European people. I was surprised to know that German, Russia, France, these are one of the biggest countries whose data we are working. I thought it was only of USA. It's not that. So if there is a non-compliance of the GDPR, what is going to happen? Whether our middle-age or small-age companies can afford a penalty of 20 million euro or 4% of global annual turnover, I don't think after paying this penalty, they will again start their business. How can all this happen? So we need awareness, and you all know I requested my brothers in Webel and other. We jointly hosted I think more than 2 hours session on the GDPR, and I spoke on the entire thing. So we are actually in the last winter session. We also have another bill, a data privacy bill, and believe me, this is going to affect our industry in a large way because we are not data concerned. We are the way we are keeping our monies in the lockers of our almaris or the bank. We are not securing our data in the same way. It is the data which is one of the most important, valuable security in the days to come. Because see, we all know there are big servers, big data houses who are actually collecting our data. They are working our data, and ultimately they become the most. We are now ruled by 4 companies, and I don't want to mention in this public forum the name. They have our data. If they want, see, for example, if we can manage a drone and insert explosive into it and configure the Google map with it, and they can have that same, they can put that explosive in the particular geographical map, it's been built up. So we are in the world where nothing is private. And we are then trying to have a law that anybody going to infringe the privacy will going to put under or behind the word, because the data privacy bill which is coming in India, it has got a cognizable, non-bailable up to 3 years imprisonment. The bill is speaking, Bill 2019. I don't know how can this bill will be executed at the days to come, because I am a grassroots level worker. I touch the heat of dust every day. I don't know how we're going to manage all these things, but let us hope for the best. The biggest thing for the industry is to be secure about the data. We be concerned about the data. I think the GDPR equivalent law will going to definitely come, and in the days to come. And as regards to this crime and other, we have to be aware, because the best thing is to awareness. Because I am telling, if the crime happens, the Jamtara gang people are no longer sitting in Jamtara. They have been spread throughout India, and every day they are having a new technique, because the next day you are going to have a new style of crime in the come. But if we are aware enough, and again, the best, actually, Ovik was telling me the topics of today's discussion. It's a fantastic topics I have chosen. I must appreciate you. The same thing coming up, create a problem, find a solution, get a promotion. So there are problems, and that's why there's so much of, you see, there is a new community is coming up, the ethical hacker. I don't know who is the ethical, who said them to be ethical. Because I believe, going to the CRPC of Indian law, the only police and the judge is the ethical hacker. They can hack ethically. I don't think they are the ethical hacker, but they are telling themselves ethical hacker. They are having $1 million business running on. They are having institutions. They are teaching the people, they're looting the money. I don't know where there is, because unlike USA, we don't have any Wire Trap Act. And who's these people are working? I know who's told them, give the certificate that, okay, this banda, Mr. X is ethical hacker. Thank you. So with this note, If you give me liberty, so I can take the leave. Thank you all.
একটা মোমেন্টও দিতে হবে আপনাকে না, টেবিলে রাখবেন, মনে রাখবেন।
একদম